almost has a throwback feel to the era when running backs dominated. Today, one of the best running back matchups you're going to see all season long. Two stars colliding here. Welcome to the home of the Oregon Ducks, the one and only Autzen Stadium. As we'll see a playoff team from last year, LSU Tigers, taking on the 10th-ranked team, the Oregon Ducks. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Chris Fowler here with Kirk Street. Let's get this thing underway. Kickoff team is on the field to move this one away. Bringing it out, it's Perry. And he stopped at the 18. Returner trying to make a play, but a touchback would have been a better idea. Quick pass, here comes a jet sweep. They've got him, but he picks up 8 yards. Sets up a nice 2nd and 2. Keeping it on the ground here. Going absolutely nowhere. That would be a loss on the play.
Chris, textbook job by the defense surrounding the runner and preventing that play from being bounced to the outside.
Quarterback checks the defensive look, makes some adjustments. Back to throw. It's Moore. And the pass is intercepted. A takeaway for the defense. Brought down after a short return, but the pick sets up his offense. It's early, but this crowd is fired up. Listen to this noise here. This is going to be tough for the visitors today. Slides to avoid the big hit.
Chris, watch him work through his progressions here. Finds the first and the second option aren't there. By the third option, he's got to pull it down and try to pick up some positive yards, of which he did, and then he slides down to avoid the big hit.
And it's incomplete as he just overthrew his receiver that time. Both teams sort of sparring in the early going. What we expect to be a really competitive top 10 showdown here mid-season.
Yeah, mid-season games like this are so exciting because you think you know who these teams are, and after today, we'll have a much better idea. The team that plays mistake-free is going to be able to get out of here with a win.
Ball knocked away in the end zone. A great defensive play.
Really good job here showing discipline by this defense. Seeing that corner route did exactly what they needed to do to be in position to make that an incompletion.
Looking to scramble to his left. The pass is off target. He got hit as he threw as the third down pressure worked. Coach is going to take the 3 points. Here comes the field goal unit. He made it. 3 points on the board. So we have our first points on the board. That makes it 3-0. So after coming away with 3 in that drive, the kickoff team is out. Fielded in the end zone. It's Perry. He's tackled at the 17, so it would have been better to leave it in the end zone for a touchback. And the powerful Ducks offense retakes the field. This offense trying to bounce back the last possession and then in a pick. On first down, it's play action. It's the running back in the flat. And he will be stuffed for no gain. The Ducks will hustle to the line to run the hurry-up offense.
You know, a lot of times you see teams go up-tempo when they've got momentum that comes off to a big gain. These guys are struggling, and yet here they go, going back to old reliable, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage again.
Looking to scramble. That's a nice wrap-up there by the junior.
Well, that's just being crafty right here by this quarterback. It's not there. You pick up what you can and stay ahead of the chains. And who knows, do this enough, they'll have to start spying on this quarterback, which could open up some passing lanes that weren't there before.
Quarterback appears to be changing the play. Looking to pass. It's Moore. Quick throw to his receiver. Tried to press the ball deep, but it's incomplete.
Chris, that's every quarterback's worst nightmare, a wide-open receiver streaking for a touchdown. You could throw a hook shot out there, let him get underneath it, and let him run to the end zone. What a missed opportunity.
And he's going to finally head out of bounds. But you talk about flipping the field and setting up his offense in tremendous field position. Okay, so here comes the LSU offense back on the field. We're trying to build this lead here. Had to settle for 3 last time out. Breaks free. Breaks into the clear. And he runs it in for the score. Touchdown, Tigers. Kicking team on now for the extra point.
Heck of a job here on that combination block to open this hole up. You know, when you have 5 blockers that can work as one unit, that's as good as there is in college football and a very underrated aspect of any great team.
Bringing it out. It's low. And he's brought down at the 12. That's poor field position to start the drive. Offense trots out onto the field, hoping to start a drive here. It's a run to the left. Picks up the first, looking for more. And he steps out of bounds, but a solid gain there on the ground.
There's nothing more that helps an offense than committing to that running game and popping an explosive run like this on the ground. Keeps the confidence of your offensive lineup. Same with your back. It helps everything else that you're doing as an offense and your rhythm. Now you can come back with some counters and try to take some shots off of play action and keep hammering away with that run game.
Again, makes it 2nd and medium. Dropping back. It's Moore. He's running out of time here. It's incomplete. He was hit as he threw that time. And now 3rd down coming up.
Boy, that pass rush got in there in a hurry. Great job by this defense of disrupting the rhythm and timing between the quarterback and the receivers.
Quarterback pre-snap adjustments now for this defense. And he'll drop back here on 3rd down. Looking for the wideout. Incomplete for a 3rd straight play.
Boy, Chris, what a hit there on that 3rd down play by the defensive back. If he doesn't make that play, that's probably a 1st down, and they move the sticks. Instead, we've now got 4th down.
And the returner brought down by the coverage team. And that Bayou Bengals offense is back out on the field. They were able to punch it in the end zone last time, looking to do the same thing here to see if the defense can make adjustments. Not much on that play, brought down short.
Defense does a really nice job here of being able to contain that run game, held him just for 2 yards. Chris, to me, this changes the playbook a little bit now for the offense. The guy calling the plays at 2nd and 8, that's a different deal. Now he's got to probably thinking about going through the air instead of staying on the ground.
That's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no flag, brings up 3rd down.
Chris, I thought he had his hands on that football. I thought he was going to come down with it. But give the defense all the credit with a big hit to knock that ball loose.
Drops back, needing a 3rd down completion here. He bought some time, now lets it go. With the catch, it's Green. An effective play, good for a 1st down of the 35. A new set of downs after that completion. To the air, it's Russell. Looking for a man deep on the right side. Caught inside the red zone and still running. That's a massive play. Moves the ball to the 14, and just like that, they're in scoring position.
That is great arm strength and accuracy by this quarterback. And let's not forget the wide receiver's job of bringing it in for that big game.
Here comes a throw from the red zone. Looks left and finds his target there. They stop him after a short gain. It's not a first down.
Good job by this quarterback recognizing not just the blitz, but seeing the man coverage, able to put that right on the money to be able to pick up a nice gain.
Quarterback looking to pass here on second down. It's an out route. The catch made. Brought down at the 5 after the catch. The offense really threatening now.
Anytime a quarterback and a receiver are in sync, you got a chance to make a very successful play. Great job here by the offense.
Crucial third down coming up in the red zone. Can they keep the drive going, or will they have to settle for 3? Motors all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, LSU.
Chris, that's what I love about this quarterback. It's a great touchdown, but he shows you his versatility. We know he can throw it, but here he shows you his speed and how he can make the defense pay for that as well.
Point after, knocked right through. Got momentum after scoring that touchdown. Now the kickoff team out there to kick it away. Fielded in the end zone. It's Perry. Tackle at the 13. Not great field position to start the drive. Here's the first play of the drive. They'll set up from the 13. Scanning the field. It's Moore. Makes a quick catch.
Love to see the short passing game as a great go-to for any offensive coordinator in the first quarter because it's reliable and allows you to see how the defense is reacting. That can open up for other things later on.
Second down, we're going to throw it. Pass ball is incomplete. There was a lot of contact. No penalty. Brings up third down. Quarterback adjusting now to the defense. Going to pick up the third and short through the air. But they don't connect. It's incomplete, and it brings up fourth down.
Man, on your own side of the field, you're playing a risky game here. Third and short. Your goal should just be keep this drive alive the best way you can sometimes is just hand the ball off to your running back and have him get behind that offensive line and go to work. Curious to see what they do now here on this fourth and short.
No surprise. Offense going for it on fourth down. From the shotgun, he's probing the secondary. Finds his receiver. That's enough for the first down. Brought down, but it's past the line to gain. So far, this has been a battle on the ground. We've completed the first quarter, and the run game has dominated. We'll see if this game gets out of hand before halftime, the crucial second quarter beginning right now. Back at it to start the quarter. Offense getting set to run a first down play. Back to throw again. That one falls incomplete. Good defensive play. Brings up second down.
I know this guy believes in his receivers, and I don't blame him. There's a lot of talent out there. But throwing into double coverage like that, that's how you throw picks.
To throw, it's Moore. Oh, the quick throw falls incomplete. getting set. This is not where you want to be against this defense. 3rd and long. Dropping back, looking to throw for the first down. The pass rush closing in. And that's incomplete. They weren't afraid to let it fly, but it brings up a 4th down.
Well, Chris, obviously they had to go through the air there to try to pick up this 3rd down and long, but when you're so far behind the chains, you really allow this defense to dictate things, and it allows them to put pressure on your quarterback and can affect the timing, as we saw on this play.
No fair catch. He feels the punt. The coverage team makes the stop on this return. And here comes that LSU offense back onto the field. This group has been clicking. They've really built momentum. Can the defense make adjustments? Come up with a stop here. Brought down, but broke the tackle to produce a solid game there. Timeout is called by the defense. That's their first of the half. Offense getting set. It's 2nd down. Takes the handoff again. Fighting him off. And he's brought down, but not before he gets first down yardage.
Chris, it feels good to see an LSU team be able to run the football when you know they're going to run. I mean, they've been doing that forever, going all the way back to Jacob Hester and Kevin Falk. His ability to run the ball and catch out of the backfield. Leonard Fournette. And, of course, Clyde Edwards-Helaire on that great 2019 team. And now, LSU stable of backs again on this roster, too.
Getting set. Here's 2nd down. On the run, it's Durham. And the defense smothers him for no gain.
Chris, that play just didn't have much of a chance at all from the snap. Quarterback hands this off and just nowhere to go. It's almost like the defense was anticipating the play call, and they put themselves in a position to come up with a nice tackle for a loss.
Incomplete. He was hit as he threw the ball. That's a big 3rd down defensive play.
Well, the defense picks the right time. After this quarterback, 3rd down, critical down and distance, do a good job of dialing things up, and good coverage downfield. He didn't have anywhere to go with the ball.
So on 4th down, the decision is to trot out the field goal team. He knocks it through with confidence. And they add to their lead. After adding 3 more points to the lead, they're set to kick it off.
Boy, this guy had plenty of leg here, too. Chris, you remember the days when a kick from 50-plus was a major accomplishment? Now these guys knock these out like they're almost automatic.
Looking to throw. It's Moore. Makes the grab with plenty of room to run. He's in the clear. And they finally stop him down at the 5. Solid gain on that catch and run.
Boy, nice job here by this offense, creating an opportunity for this receiver to excel after the catch. It's early in this game, so this defense better get their arms around this receiver because he could be a monster today.
The Ducks hoping to punch it in here. They have 1st and goal. Design quarterback run. Picks up a short gain, but is swarmed by the defense flying to the football.
Well, anytime you use your quarterback as a runner, the goal is obviously to hit some big plays. You've got to be careful of letting your quarterback take too many big hits. Not only can he get tired, he can also start to fumble the football.
That's a design quarterback keeper. And the pass is incomplete. So a huge play to start the drive and get in scoring position, but now it's 3rd and goal. On the ground, trying to power toward the goal line. And he fights into the end zone. Touchdown, Ducks. The offense stretching the lead, building momentum, Kirk. And if this defense isn't careful, this one could get ugly.
Right now, this is just flawless execution in every phase for this offense. Doing a great job of mixing in their calls. Right now, widening that lead and killing the will of their opponent.
And that kick will just bound into the end zone for a touchback. Okay, so here comes the LSU offense back on the field. The last drive produced 3 points thanks to an excellent long-range field goal. To throw, it's Russell. Pressure is coming. Testing the defense with a throw downfield. And the deep shot falls incomplete, but wait, there is a flag on the play, so we'll check that out. The officials make the easy call. Quarterback was well past the line of scrimmage before throwing the ball. 2nd down play coming up for this offense. There's the snap. They'll set up to throw. He escapes the pocket. Grabbed by the receiver.
This defense has got to be aware of these quick throws to these wide receivers. They're lucky he didn't come up with more yards.
It's 3rd down for the offense. Looking to pick up the 1st down through the air. Fires it to the wideout. Wide open downfield. They bring him down, but wow, the freshman showing off the arm strength.
Well, if I'm this defense, you get these guys to 3rd down, you better bracket or double team some kind of coverage rolled to this receiver to take him away.
Taking a shot deep toward the end zone. He makes the grab along the back line, but out of bounds. Couldn't get a foot down. No touchdown.
You know, I like the quarterback's patience here, and instead of trying to force the issue and squeeze the ball into coverage, he just decides to just basically throw it away and live for the next down.
Looking to throw yet again. On the move now. Using his legs. Football comes out. It bounces past the sideline, out of bounds, and they avoid the turnover there.
Oh, my gosh, Chris. You can almost feel a collective sigh of relief coming from the offensive sideline as that ball rolled out of bounds. The offense catches a break. One more awkward bounce. That ball maybe stays in bounds, and the defense has a recovery.
They tackle him behind the line, a loss of 4.
Well, setting the edge, a lot of times you'll rely on that offensive tackle to do the job at the line of scrimmage. Sometimes it's a tight end or maybe the H-back. But someone has got to set the edge of the line of scrimmage to give them a spot to go. If you're not able to do that, you're not able to turn the corner and make a big play.
So the first play of the drive coming up here, under 3 minutes to play before half. Oh, it's snapped to the back. The defense all over. They stop him right at the line.
Well, the defensive line does their job eating up those double teams, freeing up the backers to make the play.
Second down after that previous play. And the motion by the back now forces the defense to adjust. Caught in the backfield. It's Smothers. The senior able to make the stop after a short gain. It's the 2-minute timeout. This offense running out of time to cut into this lead before the break. Offense been in reverse here. Now a long way to go to convert this third down. Receivers now getting some new assignments before the snap. Looking downfield. It's Moore. Quick throw to the left. And the pass is intercepted as he throws into double coverage that time. They bring him down, but that could be a game-changing pick and return.
Well, that's now 2 interceptions for this quarterback, and we're only in the first half. This is the exact start this defense was hoping for to create a ton of momentum.
And it's incomplete. The defender arrived the same time as the football, and now it's second down. Looking for a receiver. That one falls incomplete. Looking for a flag. Doesn't get it. Brings up third down.
Chris, not only really good coverage here by the defense, but I love their awareness. That ball is in the air, headed to the end zone, and the ball is separated from the receiver with the contact.
Quarterback gets down to avoid the tackle. Timeout is called to talk strategy late in this close game with halftime approaching.
What a job by this quarterback, having an idea of exactly where he is on the field. Third down scramble, doesn't get it into the end zone, but guess what? Picks up that first down. We got a first and goal.
This offense has been hard to stop here in the first half. Can they punch it in and build the lead before the break? Moves out of the pocket. Floaters into the end zone. Touchdown, LSU.
I think we're starting to kind of see a theme here, Chris, today. That's his second touchdown. The offensive line doing their job, and he's doing an outstanding job of just reading the defense, finding the hole, and being able to pick up big yards and touchdowns.
Bringing it out. It's Perry. He'll be tackled at the 18. That's good coverage there. Offense out there for the first play of this drive from the 18. Looking downfield. It's Moore. He escapes the pocket. He's going to take off here. He gets the first and still going. He'll head out of bounds after a solid gain on that run.
You know, they tried to catch this defense napping on 1st and 10 by taking a shot downfield, but the defense does their job. They've got everybody covered, but I'm telling you, you better account for this quarterback because he can take off when things aren't there and use his legs, and he does that for the first down.
Physical defending. That one falls incomplete. Brings up second down. Following the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 30. Quarterback wants to throw it on second down. Caught over the middle. It's Casper. Puts into space at the 50. And he rolls out of bounds. That's a big gainer there.
Well, the defense sits back in a zone coverage. Good job here by the quarterback, recognizing that soft coverage, and he hits the routine drag route underneath for a first down.
Looks like the QB is changing the play at the line. First down, looking to throw the ball. Looking to scramble. Gets rid of it on the move. And it's incomplete. Comes up a little short on that throw. Offense lines up for a second down play off the incompletion. Looking to throw it again. He fires downfield. He's got a man down the middle. They make the stop, but a big play moves the ball to the red zone.
The defense is spread all over the field, creating some one-on-one matchups, and the quarterback makes them pay for it.
The shotgun running play call. Well, they've got him, but not before a solid gain on the ground there. So here comes second down now. Every play important down here in the red zone. To the air. It's Moore. The pocket breaking down. And he throws his third interception of the day. Tackle made after a short return, but the pick ends that threat.
Boy, the quarterback gets drilled on this play, Chris, as he lets go of that ball before the interception. I think he was just trying to get it out. Didn't seem to have a chance to set his feet up. And what did it do? Made it a lot easier for the defender to come up with the interception.
Able to get the pass away, but took a hit that time.
How about the defense's effort here? You're dealing with one of the more athletic quarterbacks in the country. Anytime he scrambles, you better have 3 or 4 guys pursuing the football. They do a good job of affecting his rhythm by pressuring him to the whistle.
Now the offense will call a timeout here. Something they didn't like about what they saw there. Wanting to make an adjustment for this critical down. They're going to throw for it on 3rd and short. Lets it fly to the wideout. Makes the catch downfield. Stop at the 36. That's good enough to move the sticks. One more play before they head to the locker room. The secondary backed up off the ball now. A deep shot to the left side. And it's incomplete. Trying for a big play there as time runs out in the first half. Miller's going to wrap up the first half here. Let's kick it down to Kevin Connors with our halftime update. I believe they're going to line up here and go for the onside kick. On the hands seem all over that to make the recovery.
Trying it onside to start the 3rd with the lead? It's, I guess, a bold strategy. Now we'll see if it comes back to bite them.
And that Bayou Bengals offense is back out on the field. An effective running game is why they were on top. Let's see if the defense can find a way to stop them. And it's just beyond the receiver's grasp. Too much on that one.
Boy, what a call here by the offensive coordinator. Dialed it up perfectly. The play looked like it had a chance for a big gain. Unfortunately, the quarterback off on the accuracy, put that ball too far out in front of the receiver.
That's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact. No flag. Brings up 3rd down. Not going to be easy here. Backed up a long way to go for a first down. The corner's now playing a couple of yards off the ball. Oh, and another incompletion.
Well, they go to the air to try to pick up this first down, but it just wasn't meant to be. Defense was ready, made sure to force them into this 4th down situation.
So out comes the field goal team from a long way out. They are putting a whole lot of faith in this kicker. Oh, and he missed it. The kick is no good. That miss leaves the lead at 20 points.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity for some points here. The way they were moving the football, I thought maybe a touchdown, at the very least 3 points, but instead, he shanks it.
Looking to throw. It's Moore. Deep shot toward the end zone. Downfield shot falls incomplete. Couldn't quite connect there.
Now, the defense better be aggressive here themselves. Clearly, we're seeing an approach by this offense that they're going to attack downfield. Probably saw something in the first half that they could take advantage of. They come out early and try to hit it for a big one.
Back-to-back deep shots. The pass is dropped. Would have been a big gain, but he couldn't hold on. 3rd down. The offense desperately needs a conversion here, trailing in the 3rd quarter. Quarterback changing the play now at the line. Drops back, looking to throw for it on 3rd down. And it's incomplete again. 4th down coming up.
Well, I see what the quarterback's trying to do here. He's holding on to that football to the last possible second to give that play a chance. But he held it just a little bit too long. and the defense is able to hit him to force that incompletion.
4th and 10 after 3 straight incompletions. Can they connect this time? Looking to chuck it again. Quick dart to the right. Makes the grab inside the 30, and he's still running. He make the stop, but a big play moves the ball to the red zone.
Just great execution here on this 4th down to keep this drive alive. And what I love is the accuracy from the quarterback and a good job by the receiver knowing where that route needed to be able to catch the ball and pick up the 1st down.
The Ducks will come to the line to run the hurry up.
Well, that was definitely not what they had in mind, but look at this. Here comes the tempo again, undeterred by the tackle for a loss.
Looking to pass here on 2nd down. Quick throw misses his mark there, incomplete. Incompletion brings up an important 3rd down. Back to pass. It's Moore. It's a quick grab. He's not going to get the 1st down. It's 4th down now.
Great job here by the defense. 3rd down and long. You drop back in coverage, keep everything in front of you, force that quarterback to have to check the ball down, and then you rally to the football to force his 4th down. Great job here by the D.
They'll change the pre-snap look now. Fourth down, looking to throw for it. Launching one to the end zone. And it's intercepted, but out of bounds. So close to a turnover, it's just incomplete. So the choice to go for it doesn't pan out this time. And here comes that LSU offense back onto the field. They need something out of this possession. The last time they settled for a field goal attempt, but then they missed it. That's reeled in. It's Watkins. Tackle made out of the 24-yard line. Nice play. This line getting set up. It's a 1st down play.
Look at this, Chris. After that big gain and a 1st down, they're already at the line of scrimmage, ready to get this up-tempo offense cranking.
Heads out of bounds after a solid gain.
You know, we talked this week with the offensive coordinator about what makes this receiver so special. He kept referring to his route running. Here's an example of that. Great route, enough separation to give the quarterback a nice lane to throw the football.
And looking to throw now on 1st down. Looks like he's going to run it. Quarterback gets down to avoid the big hit.
Well, they did a good job of getting pressure on the quarterback, but, man, make the play. Bring him down. Instead, they give up positive yards here on the scramble.
On 1st and 10, they'll look to throw it. On the move now. He finds some space. And he'll make his way out of bounds after gaining decent yardage.
Love the aggressive mindset from the play caller here on 1st down. Take a shot downfield. Only thing is, they're all covered. Nobody's open. He gets flushed out of the pocket, decides to run towards the boundary and gets out of bounds, and a good gain and a 1st down.
Looking to pass. It's Russell. Oh, the pass rush gets home.
I thought the strong safety did a really good job of disguising the blitz, waiting to the last possible moment, and at the snap of the ball, catching the offensive line off guard. Nobody saw him. He gets home free and comes up with a sack.
Quarterback looking to throw it on 2nd down. He's going to take off. Past the 30. They make the tackle, but all the way down to the 17.
Well, here's a quarterback that just takes control for himself, picking up some nice yards when nothing else is there. This guy's a real threat.
And they'll run it out of the shotgun. And you'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
Chris, I think we all kind of get caught up in 3rd down. What is an offense doing on 3rd down? But I think what's also important is how well you defend 1st down. If you can hold your...
Touchdown, Tigers! And the route is on.
Man, that's another touchdown for this guy. This defense better adjust and get eyes into that backfield, or he may go for a third or a fourth later today.
PAT is good. They slammed into the kicker, and penalty markers are down. And the head coach will decide to accept the penalty and take the yardage. Well, he thought about coming out, but instead takes a knee, and they'll bring the football to the 25-yard line. Quarterback making adjustments now to what the defense is showing. First play of the drive, we're going to throw the football. Another interception. That's number 4 today. Are you kidding me? They get him down after a short return, but the takeaway sets up the offense at the 43.
Well, it looks like somebody did a great job of preparing himself to get ready for this football game. It's his second interception in this game so far. Obviously reviewed the tape and is locked in on his fundamentals. That's a big-time player making big-time plays.
Heads out of bounds after another big gain and a first down. This defense has not been able to stop the quarterback run today.
This is just a great job of understanding situational awareness by this quarterback. Nobody's open downfield, so instead he decides to buy a little bit of time by scrambling, gets out of the pocket, and he gets to the sticks and just gets the first down.
So this defense finally makes a play. That's one of the few negative plays for this offense today.
Yeah, you said it, Chris. They don't have the easiest road to climb back in this one, but little plays like that can be points of positivity of what coaches will likely focus on as they move forward.
The sophomore with a strong tackle there.
Chris, you know, the spread era over the years has always grown offensively, but what I've been always impressed with defenses that really build their defense to play in space still have an ability to be sound at the line of scrimmage and defend a running game. It's exactly what we saw right there.
They come to the line, a long way to go for the first down, but needing this crucial conversion right now. Escapes the pocket. They make the stop, but it'll be 1st and 10 now from the 18.
Man, nothing